everybody. Welcome to MLM Unlimited, where we discuss an unlimited number of MLM topics, tips, tricks, and concepts. We are here with Tyler Redman. Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
We actually just finished up our tasting for our wedding reception. So we've been eating barbecue all afternoon. So we're having a good night. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. It's been raining like crazy here today, but other than that, it's going great.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, things like that.
Well, like you said, my name is Tyler Redman. I live just outside of Dallas, Fort Worth in Texas, and I've been married for just under 5 years. Don't have any kids yet. Looking forward to doing that here in the next year or so. And I've been in the network marketing industry for about 3.5 years now. And I love it. Love everything about it. So.
Okay. Awesome. Who was it that first introduced you to network marketing?
I was introduced actually by a friend from church. We go to church just outside of Dallas as well, and he originally introduced me. We didn't know each other that well, but he's the one that introduced me. I got hooked the second that he introduced me. It took me about a week to kind of mull things over, but I jumped in full force, been going ever since, and so I couldn't be more excited about being involved in the industry.
Outstanding.
What made you join network marketing?
That's a good question. I think what made me join network marketing was the power, obviously, of the residual income, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to network marketing or MLM as an industry, is the ability to create something for themselves, number one, and number two, be able to create something that can pay them over and over again for work that's done one time. So that's what originally attracted to me to network marketing.
So what's the one thing, if you could narrow it down, what's one thing that you like the most about it? Is it the residual income? Is it the team building? Is it the work that's involved?
Well, I think originally I would have said the residual income, but since then, now that I've kind of become at a leadership position in my company, since then, it's been the personal development that I've been able to go through. A lot of things that I've learned in my network marketing career, I've been able to apply outside of here. We're involved pretty heavily in our church. I do a lot of things. I speak and teach at church that I wouldn't normally have done before I got involved with network marketing. And there's a whole host of things that I just can do now, either easier or just now I have the skills to do that I learned through my network marketing business that I wouldn't have been able to learn otherwise.
The company that you're with now, is this your first network marketing company, or have you tried others before?
This is my first network marketing company. And it's not the first network marketing company I've been introduced to. My parents back in the day did Amway. A couple of my buddies in college did World Ventures. But it was the first one that it was introduced to me and actually made sense for me. I felt it was a good fit for me and my wife. And so it's the first one that I've been involved in. Obviously, I don't plan on being involved in any other companies, but who knows what will happen in the future. And I love my company. I love my leadership. I love my team. And so I don't foresee going anywhere. So I'm a one-hit wonder, so to speak. Hopefully I can remain that way for the rest of my career. But who knows?
It's funny. I actually just wrote up a blog post for that exact subject at 4:30 this morning, where you have to find a company, and you have to not only like the products or service that you provide, but you have to like basically the work that's involved for it. You know, like you mentioned, World Ventures. If I'm not mistaken, that's a travel agency type business. You don't have any desire to want to travel, I don't think that would be a good business for you to try and promote or sell.
Absolutely.
You have to, in my opinion, you would have to enjoy it. Or Amway, I mean, they've got a number of products, home cleaning products, energy products, nutrition, everything. So they kind of have a little bit broader spectrum of products that you can go after, but you still have to like at least one of the products you have to really go for. You can't, I don't know, maybe it's just my opinion. You have to like what you're doing and what you're selling to be able to put that off to other people and, come across with a good vibe to, especially to prospects that don't necessarily know anything about your business.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. If you don't have passion for what you're marketing, and I say marketing because I kind of try to shy away from the word selling, especially in my company specifically. But if you don't have a passion for what you're marketing, then you're not going to be able to market it very well. That when you have passion for your
Tyler, hold on a second. I think we lost you on audio.
product, the way you speak and the way you carry yourself with Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good now.
Okay, all right. But what I was saying was that if you have to have passion for your products or your service or your opportunity, because if you don't, your prospects are going to see that. But if you do have passion while you're inviting and you're inviting people to take a look at what you have to offer, that passion is going to shine through. But if you don't have that passion, it's going to be impossible to facilitate passion in your prospect.
I completely agree.
So do you use any social network marketing to market your business?
I do, and I will have to say I just started that recently, probably within the last month or so. There is only so many people that you're going to be ever able to interact with in this world physically. And so, there's billions of people in this world that you will never touch. You will never be able to interact with. So I moved my business. I didn't move my business. I created another avenue, or I utilized another avenue to market my business. I will say that a lot of people in the network marketing industry don't do it right. I've been kind of toying with the idea for several years now. When I initially started, I did start promoting on social media, marketing on social media, and I did it completely wrong. It was all about, had my websites on there, had my company's information on there, had everything. That's obviously not the way to do it correctly, because you want to promote yourself as a brand and yourself as an expert in the industry rather than promote a company. Your company promotes itself. I mean, everybody knows about your company usually, but don't know about you. And so that's what you need to do with social media. Generally, what I tell my team is if you're going to use social media, you need to do it right. You need to tell stories on your social media feeds. You need to show them lifestyle changes that network marketing has been able to create for you. You need to show them things that change in your life. Maybe you bought a house, you bought a car, you went on vacation that you wouldn't have been able to do if it weren't for network marketing. And those kinds of things, that's what you need to show people. That's the story you need to tell, because then that will start generating some interest in what you're doing. But if you put it all out there on the line day one, people are just going to Google your company, and they're going to, of course, see negative reviews, because that's what everybody does. That's what Google's all about, is negative stuff. And so when they see that negative stuff, they're going to automatically know that if you approach them with an opportunity, they're going to say, no, I already looked into it. I don't want to have anything to do with that. It got really bad reviews. But if you don't spill your popcorn before the picture show, as one of the leaders in my company likes to say, and keep all your cards to yourself until they start engaging with you about what you're doing, then you have a lot more power in your hands when it comes to prospecting people online. So that's what I try to do, and that's what I've learned over my several years in network marketing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm seeing pretty good results with it right now. So yes, I do use social media for my marketing.
It's funny that you talked about putting everything out there, because originally, that's what I did, because I love our company. I love our products. I love what we do. I love network marketing as a business model in general. So I'm like, yeah, everybody should love it. Yeah, here's everything. People shy away, especially when there's the income potential, because income potential in network marketing is just a little bit better than at your normal job. So people aren't used to seeing large numbers. So you can show them all the progression and everything. Once you hit a certain point, you've completely lost them because they just can't wrap their head around it. So I had to throttle back on everything that we were doing, I was doing, just actually not all that long ago. And we actually were doing an interview just the other day, and we're talking about people going to Google and seeing all the bad reviews. And Google is great, but Google is so not good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it can definitely hinder a process that is a quality process. If there is a bad network marketing company, it gets found out pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
With the way technology is today, if it is a no-kidding bad company, and there are a few that come out every once in a while, they disappear quick. The ones that have been around for a little while, that have, the numbers keep growing every year, the products are, changing all the time, getting better, things like that. Obviously, it's working. Obviously, it's not such a bad model. If the numbers keep going up, if the products are continuing to sell, people still want to build those businesses.
Right. Agree.
So, what is one thing that you would tell somebody that's starting out in the network marketing business?
Well, the first thing that I usually tell my team is I prepare them for rejection. You have to know that you're going to be rejected in this business. And the reason that I tell them that first is because that's generally the first caveat that people hit, the first hurdle that people hit right out of the gate that gives them a pretty big setback. And a lot of times it causes them to quit the industry as a whole. And so if you lay that foundation from the very beginning and set that expectation that you're going to hear rejection, oftentimes, unfortunately, for our closest family members and friends, as I'm sure you guys have experienced as well, you're going to see that rejection. You're going to hear that rejection. And if you work your business on a daily basis, you'll even hear rejection on a daily basis. And so if they know that going in, it will not be a surprise, and it will not be a problem or a hurdle that they have to go through in order to continue to work their business. So that's the first thing that I always tell my team. You've got to be ready for rejection.
Yeah, that goes along with me expecting everybody to love the business the same way I do. Is when people say no to the business and everything, a lot of times, our upline will tell you, they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to the opportunity or whatever, and it's probably because they just don't understand it, or they're scared of change. And because I was a student of the business for the first year, you told me to read a book, I read it. You told me to watch this video, I watched it. I learned as much as I could, as fast as I could about the business. And not just about our business, but as network marketing as a whole. So that way I could compare other businesses to ours. And I wanted to be in a business that I knew we could promote, that we felt good about. And so I did a lot of studying. So and I say there's a lot of information that I have, and there's still far more that I don't have, but with everything that I know about the business, it's so hard to try and get people to be like, what don't you understand? Right. I can explain this as much as possible, but if they don't choose to get it or want to get it or whatever, then there's nothing I can tell them. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person.
Right.
Yeah, that's my biggest hang up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I don't know if it was my lead in my company or it was Eric Worre, Ray Higgin, or somebody. I'm sure hundreds of people have said it. But, you've heard it said that when people say no to your opportunity, or they balk at the opportunity or avoid you or whatever, generally it can go down into one of two categories. Either they have reservations about network marketing as an industry, and its ability to work and create residual income, or they have restrictions on themselves as a person, as a professional, as a worker, as an expert. They have restrictions on whether or not they feel that they can be successful in this. So it's generally down to one of those two categories, really, no matter what the concern or the question is. Obviously, if it's I don't think I have enough time for that. It's generally something that's inner, something within themselves that they don't think that they can carve out the right time, or they don't think they can structure their schedule enough to work something like this. Or, the classic pyramid scheme concern or objection, that's generally a concern about network marketing not being sustainable as an industry. So you just have to figure out which of those two objections or concerns their question or what they have raised falls into. And so,
right. You mentioned Eric Worre and Ray Higdon, both guys I've watched and read. I've got GoPro right over there.
Yeah.
Favorite books. Two questions kind of summed up into one.
Okay.
One, does your business provide training for new business owners? And two, do you personally stick to your business training, or do you go to outside sources like Eric Worre and Ray Higdon, people like that?
Well, to answer your first question, yes, my company does provide training. We, of course, in the back office system, we have tons of training videos and stuff like that for new consultants that get involved in our business. And then, of course, we have regional and local trainings that happen. I'm partnered with one of the top 30 income earners in the company, and they put on trainings in the Dallas area about every 6 weeks, super steady trainings. So we have them all the time. And then we have 4 annual company-wide events, and they're at different locations. But our big annual convention is here in Dallas. Most of the training here in Dallas. And so my team, at least my local team, has a lot of access to tons of training, whether it's corporate, it's put on by corporate, it's corporate sponsored, or it's put on by our team. But there's tons of training all over the place. But to answer your second question, I definitely go outside of my company to get network marketing coaching, advice, tips, training, things of that nature. And generally, it's geared towards more of the online marketing. My company sort of shies away from the online marketing or promoting yourself or branding yourself online, which is understandably so for the company, because obviously they're in it for their bottom line, and me promoting myself online doesn't necessarily help their bottom line. They don't tell you not to, but they definitely don't teach it. And so I go to outside sources like Ray, like Eric, Cesar Rodriguez, Tanya Eliza, people like that, for my online promotion and my personal branding. As far as Eric Worre is concerned, he's probably the first person that I went to outside of my company before I even started talking about or thinking about promoting myself online. And that was just for legitimate network marketing, training, and coaching, just as a whole, as an industry. GoPro is literally the Bible of network marketing. It has to be the #1 book that I tell my new consultants to read, because he breaks it down into 7 skills that if you can master as a network marketer, you can be extremely successful in this business. And they're super simple skills. And the book is a super short read. And I clung to that my first couple of years in network marketing just so I could get a sense of how the industry worked, how the business worked, not from a company standpoint, but from an industry standpoint. Because let's face it, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years, even 5 years from now. Who knows what's going to happen with my company, everybody's company. You want to have the skills that you can utilize no matter what company you're with, no matter what you're doing. And that goes back to also the online promotion and personal branding. You want to be able to have a brand that labels you as an expert in the industry, so it doesn't matter what you're doing. So yes to both questions. I go everywhere for coaching and advice and training, because I want to soak up, kind of like you said earlier, I want to soak up as much knowledge as I possibly can, because it's just like Ray says, invest, learn, teach. You're going to invest in yourself to learn something new, to teach it to somebody, whether that's on your team or whether that's somebody in your sphere of influence, whatever that is. The knowledge doesn't do you any good up here in the network marketing industry unless you pass it along to somebody else, preferably somebody in your team that you're financially tied to that can create some residual income for you. So definitely I try to get education and understanding, as Eric Worre likes to say, from as many angles as I possibly can.
So what is it that keeps you motivated to go out and recruit people and talk about your business? Is it like one thing or is it multiple things?
Well, that's a great question. It's definitely multiple things. Number one, it is my why. And, Eric Worre talks a lot about that, is to have a really, really strong why. He talks about having a why that makes you cry. You have to be emotionally tied to that why. And that why is the reason, it should be the main reason that you work your network marketing business on a daily basis. And for me personally, my why is I want to create a steady stream of income that can replace my wife's income, because when we start having kids here in the next year or so, we want her to be able to stay at home and raise our kids. Obviously, well, I guess not obviously, but I work for the state of Texas. She is a kindergarten teacher, and so we don't make a whole lot of money. And so we had to supplement that income with something, because my income will not sustain us if she stays home. And so that's my why. My why is I want my wife to raise my children, and not a daycare, not a babysitter, nothing. I trust my wife. I have the same values and morals and goals as my wife, and I want her to impress those upon my kids, not somebody else. And so that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what forces me to make a phone call each and every day. And even if I don't necessarily make a phone call or an invite every day, I do something for my network marketing business every single day, whether that's get some training, whether that's make a phone call, whether that is empower a team member, whatever that is. I cannot go to sleep at night until I can say, if everybody on my team did what I did today, my business would explode. If I can say that, and I could say tell my future children I did that today, then I can go to bed at night and not worry about it. But if I can't say that, I better get on the phone and make a call, because my business is not going to grow if I stay stagnant. And nobody's going to follow me as a leader if they're not seeing me work on a daily basis. And the other thing that I utilize for motivation is my team. I have a really good core group of leaders here in the Dallas area. My personal sponsor is a leader here in the area. We have a guy in my downline who's a leader in Fort Worth, and I utilize them. And we're constantly texting and talking throughout the day, bouncing ideas off of each other, talking to each other about how invites with prospects went, or validation calls, or who we're going to bring to a meeting or whatever. And I use that as motivation and accountability, because if you don't have accountability or a good, strong why, you're not going to go to work on a daily basis. And if you don't work on a daily basis, you're not going to create anything of value or anything sustainable in this industry.
I would have to agree with that wholeheartedly. Let's see. Do you prefer books or listening to audio?
Well, with my paycheck job, I do a lot of driving. And so in that regard, I would have to say audio. But then again, I am a paper book guy. If I'm at home, I don't want to read anything on the iPad. I don't want to read something on my phone. I want an actual book in my hands. There's something about the paper and the ink and the cover of the book. There's something about it that I love a whole lot. But when I am driving, I definitely do utilize those audiobooks.
That's how I am. I have podcasts from Gary Vaynerchuk and Eric Worre and Ray Higdon and everybody, and audios from our business that are on, either on my phone or on a thumb drive that I play all the time. I haven't listened to the regular radio in my truck in a long time.
Yeah, I must admit, my radio in my car doesn't even work. So it's a great excuse for me to listen to something on my phone, a podcast, an audiobook or something. I'm like, well, I can either sit here with nothing, or I can turn something on that'll benefit me in the long run. So I don't really have a choice. That's what I do, but I'm kind of glad it's like that. So
yeah, just another incentive to make you work it.
That's right. That's right. And I don't fix the radio on purpose, so that way I will continue to do that.
There you go.
So what is the most successful way that you have found to sponsor people in your business?
Oh, most successful way to sponsor people. I really like the cold market. Warm market is great, but that is where I have found with my family and really close friends where I feel the most hesitation to approach, because they already know me. They know I'm not an expert in my company. They know the service that we provide. They know I'm not an expert in that. And so, and I want them to like me when I'm finished inviting them and finished taking them through the process. And so I really like working the cold market. When I'm out, we say a lot in this business, or at least in my company, we say it. You probably have heard it too. You work your business when you go out. You don't go out to work your business.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to do. When I'm out with my wife and we have dinner and we get great service from a waiter or waitress, I compliment them on that service, and then I ask them if they keep their options open for making additional income. It's a very simple approach, and it's a yes. I take it he does that too.
All the time.
All the time.
That's right. That's right. That's the way to do it. It's so simple, because a lot of times people in those types of industries, and waiter and waitresses, or people that are rotating your tires or something like that, they're looking for additional income. They're already looking for it. And so it's just a simple question of keep your options open. And with my company, we utilize an online video. It's about 14 minutes long. Would you be willing to sit down with me for about 14 minutes and take a look at what I do? Maybe it's of value to you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you'd be interested. Maybe you wouldn't. And that's all that I do. It's so simple. The guy ripping tickets at the movie theater, the guy who fills my McDonald's order, just anybody, the guy I pick up my dry cleaning from. It's just connecting with people on a deeper level than simply walking by them or a simple way. It's connecting with them to see where they're at in life and if they keep their options open. So I like to utilize the cold market more than I do the warm, because to be honest with you, I don't care what my cold market thinks about me, and so I can walk away from that not having to worry about what they're thinking about me or what they're saying to me, because I'll probably never see them.
Right. See, we got kind of lucky. I never once prospected our warm market. A few friends that I think would be great in our business, and one of the great things is a good friend of mine that I was in the military with, he's actually the one that sponsored me in business. So him and I have a lot of the same friends. So when I talk to one of them, I'm like, yeah, me and Jordan, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, it kind of helps give me credibility. Like, look, I'm not the only one. And that helps us out with our friends and stuff. But I actually sponsored my mom into our business and one of my sisters into our business. And I never asked them once. They saw me and saw how excited I got about the business. And, of course, I let them have products and stuff. My mom was our first customer. And she decided that she didn't want to just be a customer anymore and said that she thinks she could do it. I said, okay, let's go. And then, 2 months later, my other sister decided to join the business also. So she joined, and then...
Our children want to, and they're only 9.
Yeah. One of them...
Family affair.
Teachers at school, But, I'd have to agree with you. I like the cold market because you don't have to worry about what they think. If they don't want to do it, that's on them, And like you said, you probably won't see them again.
Yep, can't fix stupid either, so.
There you go. Let's see. One of the questions that came from a previous interview, and I don't know how many people are on your team or how quickly your team is growing, but if it is not growing as fast as you want, what is it that you think is keeping your team from growing at a higher rate than it is?
Well, I think in this industry, anytime you see roadblocks or humps or things not going like you want them to go, I'd say literally 100% of the time it's you. It's your fault. You're the problem, and that your business is not growing. You don't see duplication in your business, go out and sponsor more people. If you're not seeing the residual income you want coming in, go out and sponsor more people. And so I would have to say, if my business was at a lull or not growing as fast as I wanted to, it's because of me. And if anybody says anything otherwise, they just don't realize that all the power is in their hands. You know, you can run alongside 100 people, but you can probably only drag about one on your back. And so one of the things that people do that I see in my team that they do wrong is try to drag people along with them. Drag them along. And if I just keep dragging them, eventually they'll get the message and they'll run with me. But the whole industry is a sorting game. When you're prospecting, you initially sort whether they're a yes, no, or maybe. And then once they get into the business, you're going to sort them again. Are they going to work at all, or are they not going to work? And then you're going to sort the workers again into, are you going to run, are you going to walk, or are you going to crawl? So it's literally sorting all the way through. And you cannot make a two of diamonds an ace of spades. A two of diamonds is always going to be a two of diamonds. You can't make them an ace. And so you just have to keep flipping the cards until you find the aces, because the aces are in there. But you can't change the identity of the card, much like you can't change the passion of a single consultant or distributor.
I really like that. Can't take it.
I like all the analogies. Like, I get it.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, the analogies are real big in my company. Yeah, my company loves the analogies. So.
That's always good.
It's easy to connect with.
Yeah, exactly. And more people can understand it. That's another blog post I did recently, and you can tell me your opinion on this.
Okay.
Talking normal to people, because once you're in the business and you learn so much about it, your words completely change. So when you're talking to people, just like in the military, we use a lot of acronyms. So when you're throwing things out there like MLM, people are like, well, what's that? Multi-level marketing. Well, I don't do that. I do network marketing. Oh, awesome. Let's talk about that then. You know, it's all the same. But when you're talking to somebody that's not in the business at all, and you're trying to explain to them what you do, you have to use words that they're comfortable with. And I think analogies are a great way to do that, to kind of sink it home.
Yep, absolutely, definitely.
I have no other questions.
You have no other questions?
I have nothing. My belly is full from all that barbecue that we ate.
Oh, y'all gotta come to Texas. I'll show you some real barbecue.
There we go.
I actually have family in San Antonio, so I've been to Texas a couple times.
We have.
Okay, I bet they're big Spurs fans.
That too.
We need to make a trip to Texas, because we got team in Texas, and she's got family in Texas.
After the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, before we get to your question, how would you like people to contact you? Would it be Facebook, Twitter, email,
All of
website? What would you like?
Pretty much any way that they're most active. I love activity and providing value to as many people as possible on my social media and online. My personal site is tylerredman.com. Pretty simple. I'm very active on Periscope. My handle is just Tyler Redman. And then my Facebook page I'm also active on. It's facebook.com/TheTylerRedman, just all spelled out. And of course my Twitter is @TheTylerRedman. But those are the ones that I'm primarily on. I utilize Periscope a lot. And I have a lot of value on my website with blog posts, videos, all kinds of stuff. So those are probably the best way for people to get a hold of me.
Okay. Awesome. So now the floor is yours. You can ask any question, and we will add it to our list of questions for the next interviews. And we'll also send it out on various social medias and things like that for other people to answer. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, the question that I have for your audience and the network marketing audience as a whole is, what do you see in your experience as the number one reason distributors, consultants, ambassadors, whatever you want to call them, quit?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And if I could answer it really quickly, or my opinion on it, the interview we just did the other day when there was, he had brought up a quote of numbers that he saw online. It said 93 or 97% of people that join network marketing businesses quit, which is a really high number, in my opinion. I think it's their expectation, because like other sites and blogs and things, there's a lot of focus on the $1 million earners. And in network marketing, it is totally possible to be $1 million earner in just a few years. But at the same time, there's a lot of work that goes into it to get to that point. And I don't think that when they see the $1 million earners, houses and cars, and that's what they want, they don't realize all the work that person put into it. And I personally think that that's what it is. That it's just an overwhelming non-understanding of the business and work that's involved in it.
Makes perfect sense. I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see what other people have to say. Well, that's it for tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
If you all would, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. We are getting the website built up. There's a few things on there. This, of course, will be on there. MLMunlimited.com. And that's pretty much it. You all have a good night.